Hello, welcome to the Spotlight Interview Series. I'm your host, Barrett MacDonald, joined today by Mark Barry, owner and president of Pro-Oceanus Systems. Mark, thank you so much for joining us today. Would you like to get things kicked off a little bit about who you are and what got you started in your industry?
Thanks, Barrett, and I appreciate the opportunity to chat with you today. Yeah, I've been the owner for only 8, 9 months at this point with Pro-Oceanus Systems. Took over the company in May of 2024, but have worked for the company for the past dozen or so years prior to that. So Pro-Oceanus Systems is more or less we design, develop, and build and sell dissolved gas sensors predominantly for academic research, government research, and more so moving into markets like aquaculture and wastewater for trying to understand greenhouse gases, climate change, and mitigation processes and how we're able to reduce our footprint, and improve. And so we've been selling these products globally for the last 28 years. So a company was formed in 1998 at a university research, and slowly grew until about 8 or 9 years ago, where we really did take off and really started to become a global player when it comes to the sale of these products. There's only a couple other companies in the world that actually sell similar and comparable products. So we've found a really niche market that works well for us, but it does mean that we're sort of always searching for that needle in a haystack. So low volume, high value sales, and selling to a global market. So, word of mouth is certainly a big promoter for us, and the use of the World Wide Web, which we've used to our advantage over the last number of years. So, myself, I've came through academic research in oceanography at Dalhousie University. Started out as a researcher with the company and gradually moved into the sales and marketing, realizing that all of our clients, they're technical, scientific, engineering individuals. They want to talk to similar people. We don't sell products. We provide information, we provide knowledge, and allow them to make the best decisions. And we're very confident that the products that we produce are the best in the world. And they're going to come back to us once they've had the opportunity to review that information. So that's worked very well for us in the last number of years.
That's awesome, Mark, and it seems to be a growing industry. I mean, our waterways are not getting smaller; they're getting bigger, and more things are tied to them. So it's good work that you're doing over there. So it's been just under a year, but what would you say are some of the common misconceptions about operating a business you've come across, and what do you do to combat them?
I guess the first one would be that, as an owner, you're your own boss. You're not. Yes, I may have some flexibility and some guidance over things I can do, but at the end of the day, our customers are my boss, and they're the driving force of the business. They are the voice that directs almost all the decisions that I have to make on a day-to-day basis. Really have to make sure that those key customers know this as well. And that just comes through frequent discussion and feedback that they provide, and making sure that they're seeing the results and the changes that are being implemented as a result of those comments and the feedback that they provide to us. But much like the customers, I would say that my employees are a very, very important guiding light to the choices that we make in business from day to day. Having those two-way conversations with employees, it's extremely important. It helps make them ensure they know their ideas matter, because they do. But as well, you do still have to act on those in order to ensure that you do have that positive reinforcement that things that they're saying are being taken seriously. And at the end of the day, I surround myself with very smart people at our business, and I value their opinions and their input, and that's only helped grow the team and build a real sense of team that we do have at Pro-Oceanus.
That's awesome. So when you think about going from being an employee to an owner, what are some of the biggest learnings that you've had about running and operating a team and having that responsibility for signing people's paychecks?
HR. And I don't think many would argue that, because I come with a science background, and yes, some business built up through the years and working on more of the business development and sales side. But yes, dealing with customers is one aspect, and you can translate that across into working with employees. But learning the ins and outs of HR is not easy, but it really is a necessity. And going through that process and working with individuals who really understand that early on in the transition was extremely important. And it's helped me tremendously in many aspects of operating the business. Just gaining a better understanding of how every decision that I'm making has impacts and outcomes. Uh, and sometimes it's not always obvious, what those impacts may be. So really digging deep before making those decisions to make sure that I've got a really good understanding of all sides and what that's going to look like when it's actually implemented. So I would say that. And then the other thing is being in your comfort zone, not the place where you're going to learn the most. I found that
Absolutely.
the best places to learn have been those little nooks and crannies that you almost cringeworthy in some respects when because you really do have to step out of the comfort zone to understand how others are I guess process information, but as well how you manage feelings and emotions of others, and how you build that into all of those decisions that you're making in the business.
Yeah, absolutely. At Action Coach, we don't try to we kind of word it in a way that we're not getting you outside your comfort zone, we're making your comfort zone bigger. And the only way to do that is to kind of keep putting your foot in that water to see what the temperature is and kind of keep expanding that way. So
That's a great way to
sounds
put
like you're on
it.
the right direction, right?
Yeah.
So what qualities when you're looking for your staff are you looking for, and what do you do to foster that positive work environment?
Well, I said we're a small group. We've got a dozen people, and so personality is important. Yes, obviously the skill sets that we have to have coming in there have to provide what we need from the day to day, but that personality fit is extremely important as well. With a group that small, uh, everybody has to get along. We're as much a family as we are, staff members, and so really having and spending that time with individuals when we're looking to hire and having them spend time with the other employees who they'll be working with on a day-to-day basis is something that we certainly work through. But also being a small business, we're looking for individuals that have a broad background, multiple skill sets that they can provide value, not just necessarily in the area that we really need them and we're hiring them for, but when we have opportunities, and things that might take 5 hours a week, we can't hire somebody. But if we have somebody that has an additional skill set that they could take that on, that's extremely important for us in small business. So well-rounded and broad skill sets, but also people that are willing to challenge themselves. Uh, we're a technical company. We're always searching for the next biggest and best thing, but we're also looking to continuously improve. So people that are challenging what we're doing, and trying to make things better. That's really some of the key aspects that we're always looking for when we're looking to hire.
You bet. Now, you jumped on this business that was already rolling. If you were to kind of either reset your first term as being an owner or the business as a whole, what would you kind of do differently the next time around?
That's a tough question, but obviously reflection is important in business. And yes, we can't change the past, but it's still important to understand how you got to where you are, and it also helps sort of guide where you're going to go in the future. So I would say if there was one thing that I would certainly want to do more of, and this even goes back prior to taking the business over, would be to build more relationships, and stronger relationships across not just the business sectors we're in, but also sectors that we're looking to sort of explore in the future. Spending more time to build a personal brand. Obviously I spent a lot of time building a business brand in the last 10 years with the company, but uh, building a personal brand that people understand, that's who I'm going to go to. I think would be something I would have liked to do more of, starting over. As well, a small business, you always spend a lot of time putting out fires on the day-to-day basis. If I could spend more effort in building that long-term plan, that helps guide a lot of those smaller decisions that have to be made on a day-to-day basis. But having spending more time to build a more comprehensive overarching plan that's not looking for tomorrow or next week, but looking 1 year, 3 years, 5 years out, I think is something I would certainly do differently, you know, if I was able to start all over.
Well, it's never too late to start, right? And
Yeah.
where you're headed is what dictates what steps you should take today. So that's good insight, for sure. So what do you kind of attribute the growth to of the business?
Really, a lot of that comes down to uh, having good quality products, but spending a lot of time talking with customers, understanding where their challenges are, whether it's a challenge with products that we've provided or just challenges on a day-to-day basis. And a lot of that has helped guide new products and new developments and changes that we've made to products over the years. Uh, I think in the past we've tended to have, I would say, more of a retail sales approach where here's the spec sheet, and I'm going to tell you all the great and glamorous things about this product, but not really digging down deep into the true science and engineering. Really, what are they trying to do? Well, at the end of the day, a customer is not just buying a product that is, you know, a million other people are using for the exact same challenge in the run of a day. Every single application that we deal with is slightly different, and making sure that we really understand exactly what they're trying to do and how they're trying to do it allows us to piece together that puzzle for them and make their decision making process a lot easier. So that's been extremely successful. As well, a couple of large scale projects you know where we've been able to be involved, with, I would say, in the US, a very large government project where we're able to point to that year over year, looking, to new customers. Like, they are using this product, they are a cheerleader for us, and that's also been quite successful for us.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, the US market's about to completely change, but it's going to ripple effect throughout the rest of the world. So I think it'll open up new avenues for a lot of us if things go forward. So we talked offline about being a couple of busy dads with kids that are active in things. So how do you go about balancing the demands of running a business and having somewhat of a personal life on the side?
Yeah, that's a tough one, as we chatted about, right? It's I've got two kids, they're 11 and 13, and they're very active in sports and extracurricular. So we're always on the go as a family. But really, and I would say a number of years ago, not as easy. I would say I focused more on business and not enough on family. And that's a hard thing to balance. And so I'd say I've got a much better balance now than I've had in the past. And that's really about just putting trust in the people that I have around me. So people in key areas, they have my full trust. I know that what they're doing is going to help this company be successful, and that's been able to help lower that level of stress for me, and able to sort of focus more of my energy back to family. So uh, now that's not to say that from 1 week to the next that doesn't change, but obviously it helps, where, being able to put that trust in not just those few key people, but everybody at work, uh, just makes it so much easier for me to sort of shut things off for work for hours at a time to focus on the personal life. And so, uh, to me, that's been the biggest thing, in order to really return to balance, I guess, or as close to balance as I'll probably see for quite some time.
Absolutely. I think you could really only plan between 70 and 80% of your day and time anyway. You got to leave that flex space because things are going to come up as we go along. So,
Yeah.
Mark, kind of my last question that I have wrapping things up here is for someone who's watching this series at home and thinking about jumping on the entrepreneurial train, what's a piece of advice you have for them?
I would say do your homework, surround yourself with individuals and who have gone through the process before. Talk to them. Really make sure that what you're looking to do is sound, but don't be scared by it. I think the excitement uh, that comes with being a business owner and the opportunities that it presents, it's incredible. And I would not want people to shy away from it just because they'd look up and see a big hill or a mountain and think, wow, there's a lot of things that go into running a business. How do I even get started? There are so many resources out there today online, and companies who who are very willing to help. And I think that's the place that you want to start. Certainly doing your homework to gain a better understanding of what it takes to run a business. And as well, obviously the business that you might be interested in, trying to understand as much as you can about it. Talking with you know, clearly peers, but really you want to find mentors that you can work with. Who are going to help guide some of those decisions. In the end, it's your decision, but they're there to provide knowledge and to share their experiences, which are invaluable when it comes to making these decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the path isn't straight. It's very twisty, turny, windy, and there's ups and there's downs. So
Yeah,
just being able to find that shelter in the storm is a key. So, Mark, thank
yeah.
you so much for joining us today, and to all of you watching. I look forward to seeing you in our next episode.
Thanks, Barrett.